We are now.
Good evening, councillors. Welcome to the Finance, Admin and Personnel Committee meeting for the 24th of September 2025, 7:30, Barn Green Room, Denby Community Centre. No apologies because everyone's here.
Everybody's here.
So, tick. Declarations of interest arising from this agenda. Excuse me, members and officers are invited to declare any relevant interests. Notwithstanding this item, members may subsequently declare an interest at any point during the meeting. Do we have any declaration? Councillor Clay?
Order of payments.
Yep.
So,
likewise,
Yep.
of course.
Noted.
So both of you.
yes,
Okay.
all councillors.
And myself.
And yourself. Okay.
Noted myself.
So all.
Yeah. Thank you, Councillor Clay.
So that was for your courses, yeah?
Yeah.
And your expenses.
I haven't checked mine, whether mine are in there yet. Expenses. Yeah. Thank you. No other declarations of interest? Okay. Item 3, minutes of the previous meeting. To receive and confirm the accuracy of the minutes of the meeting held on the 27th of August 2025. To receive and approve. I'm assuming everyone has had a chance to read these and approve the, or review and comment.
I'm happy, yeah.
Any comments? Happy with that?
Yeah.
Is that okay? Okay.
Yeah.
I think we've got,
Vote,
I think we've got
unanimous.
3 happies.
Unanimous, yeah.
Should we to sign these?
Yes, please,
Right.
both pages. And pop a date on the second page for me,
I've
please.
done it on the first page as
Oh,
well.
that is fine.
Thank you, Jo.
Thank you.
Okay. Public participation. There is no members of the public. There's 4 chairs empty, so I'm going to skip section 4. Section 5. Financials. Orders of payment to consider and approve. For orders of payment, list 9 to consider and approve. I don't know whether you've had a... Councillor Carson.
Yeah, just one query on page, so the penultimate page of the item, the orders of payment. Yeah, we're looking at the same document. Penultimate page, it appears to be a duplicate entry for reimbursement to Andreoli on the 5th of September of £30.79. There's 2 identical entries, one above the other.
Good catch.
Yeah, that's all right.
Good catch, Councillor Carson.
Well, it may be legitimate or it may be an error, okay? But that needs...
Can we address that?
Yeah, that's a...
Yeah, so I would be happy to provisionally approve them, but I think we need to just
Check,
ask Jenny
check.
first if that's happy. If so, I'm happy to go ahead.
Agreed. Good catch. Thank you very much indeed, Councillor.
I believe that we have to approve the remainder of the
Everything
order of payment excluding
Right.
that.
Everything else, is everything else okay? No other comments?
Yeah, I'm happy with everything else, but we just need to check.
Okay, can I have a show of hands to approve everything else other than that one particular item that we need to refer back to the RFO? Then is that okay? Yeah.
Unanimous, yeah?
Do you want me to mark that, Joe? Or
Yeah, if you just star it next to
Not
those. Yeah.
approved, yeah?
Yeah. And I've written
Not
down
approved.
to refer to the RFO.
Not approved. And do you want me to sign?
So you have to sign every page of that.
Should it be not an error and legitimate though, would that approval for that payment then have to wait till our next FAF? Which would be
No,
a little bit
till full
unfair.
council.
Until full council.
Or till the next
Which
meeting.
is the 15th of October.
Okay.
So it waits the 15th of October. But it does look like a duplicate, by the way, because it's the same amount and the same domain payment details, etc. But let's Jenny confirm. Uncaptured stone.
Thank you.
Okay, accounts number 2. To note that the accounts for July 2025 and August 2025 have been issued, previously circulated as of the 31st of July 2025 and the 31st of August 2025 respectively, to note. Okay? Yep. 3. Bank reconciliations. To receive and agree the bank balances previously circulated as of the 31st of July 2025, to confirm the balances and for the Chairman to sign the statements and reconciliations. To receive and agree the bank balances and the Chairman to sign the statements and reconciliations. Lloyds, current account number 23336468, balance 292,829.28 pence. Cooperative current account number 658079118, balance 1622.67. Okay?
Yeah, no, you've got nothing to sign
No,
on
I'm
those
just
ones.
looking
Yeah,
in at them.
yeah, that's 5.3. That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Item 4. I've got to sign the bank statements and reconciliations. It
No,
says.
she hasn't really. What's she done with those?
That's what I'm looking for.
Please sign it.
Chairman to sign the statements and
Bank
reconciliations.
report.
So this is the.
I think she's numbered that wrong
I
on
think-
yours,
okay.
because that's the
I've
same
got
as
it
my
on the page.
5.2.
Let me just sign those reconciliations.
Yeah.
Councillors,
Yeah, you do need to agree those.
have you had a chance to you have reviewed them? Councillor Clay, you reviewed the bank reconciliations documents?
Yeah.
Yeah. Could I have a show of hands to make sure that we're all okay with those, please? Councillor
Yeah.
Clay?
Unanimous,
Martin,
yeah.
Unanimous. We're done. Thank you on that. Thank you very much indeed, councillors. Another page here. Stamp.
Yeah.
That's 5.3 as well. That's 5.3.
So that's the other bank statement.
Another
Yeah.
bank statement.
So are you happy with the?
Well, we've just called that out, right? Bank reconciliations to receive and agree. We've just done that and everyone agreed
Yeah.
to that, so I
That's
can
fine,
sign
yeah.
those off, yeah? Talk amongst yourselves, ladies and gentlemen. Just for a second. While... Thank you.
Yeah.
Item 4 under Financial 5. Number 4, bank reconciliations to receive and agree the bank balances previously circulated as of the 31st of August 2025, to confirm the balances and for the Chairman to sign the statements and reconciliations, to receive and agree the bank balances and the Chairman to sign the statements and reconciliations. Lloyds current account number 23336468, balance 268,111.29, and Cooperative current account number 658079118, balance 827.97. Are we okay with those, councillors? Okay?
Unanimous, yeah.
Unanimous, thank you. I'll sign those.
Yeah.
I need to get a sticky
Signature stamp.
or a wet finger to move the pages over. Here's the last one on that one. That's 5.4 as well.
Yeah, there's two bank accounts
2 banks, one for
Yeah.
the co-op and one for
for
the...
the Lloyds.
We haven't got cards yet for that, for us. Which could be a problem coming up.
Thank you.
That's 5.1 again.
Yeah, you're right. You can move on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That was section 5 completed. Number 6 on the agenda. Draft proposal, admin budget for the municipal year 2026-2027. To consider and approve a draft proposed admin budget for the municipal year 26 and 27. Can I have some feedback, comments, please? You've all got copies of it in front of you. I can see the coloured. Councillor Carson.
Appreciating fully that this is our first time going through this exercise, this critical exercise. The council is its budget, really. I still struggle, even after speaking with our IFO, the sort of chicken and egg situation. What comes first? There's so much on the draft that I have issue with, and I don't even know where to start in terms of how we address this. I think we're having a meeting.
Jenny has set out a.
But is that enough? Let me give you some examples.
Mm-hmm.
Let me give you a good example. Greening Den Mead.
Sorry?
Greening Den Mead, we have an amount of £806.08p sitting in an earmarked fund. Why? For what?
Sorry, just highlight me which particular page.
So that is, so I've marked the first one, page 1, it's on the upper printed side,
Yeah.
page 1.
Got it.
And it's third from the bottom, Greening Den Mead, £806.
That's what we've got accrued in the account.
Why are we supporting Greening Den Mead?
Okay, fair comment.
We don't have an earmarked fund for other. It's that sort of thing. Another example.
That's something to do with the licence.
Sorry, Councillor Payne.
Is that something to do with the licence?
Well, we don't. Well, this is the issue. We don't actually know what it's for. I don't know what it's for, but we've got an earmarked fund for it. So how can we approve a budget?
No, that's a fair comment. Do you have another example?
Yeah. So on what I call page, so page 1, page 2,
Yeah.
page 3, it would be, it starts with machine
Yes.
If we go to 1, 2, 3, 4 from bottom, hedge tree and bulb planting in an earmarked fund of 2,000 with budgeted amount in 25-26 of 5,000. I'm not quite sure what happened here, Martin. I took that out for the meeting's budget.
The 4 from the bottom on the third page. Hedge tree and bulb planting.
We are not going to plant
£7,000 worth.
in this in the next municipal year because we've got things to make right and rationalise. We do not need any. And I spoke with Sam, and it was been a wonderful task of planting bulbs and so on. We do not need what potentially looks as £7,000 because there'll be an underspend of 5,000 that's in this right, and we've added. But I took this out. I know it was then reviewed at the amenity. So I can't look at this and say, yeah, I'm happy to take that forward.
Right.
I think you need to go through line by line, and that's where you then question what you don't understand.
Yeah, that's what we did last time. Yeah, that's what we need to do.
Yeah, but so if you don't agree. Yeah, so if you don't at this point agree, I would suggest that you go through line by line and then we take back what we don't.
Okay, well let's.
That you may want to investigate further.
You know, our IFO says the opportunity to challenge these things then comes at the informal budget.
Well, yeah, but she's called out certain things specifically for that informal session, the big items. But hedge tree and bulb planting was not one of those. Okay, so, I mean, I'm conscious that there aren't too many items, so really, because they're not, there's only 2 pages, right? So,
There's one of the items I've got queried.
okay,
I just
well,
gave you some examples.
okay, but it may be then that we just go through with line by line on the things that we've got no issues with and strike those out, and the ones that we have got issues with, we just need to take back and qualify accordingly. Because I would agree, I don't feel comfortable signing off something if I don't know what it's about. And if we do know something about it, either I or Martin or Joe or you, then that's okay. We can share that knowledge.
You know, I want to say that if our task tonight is to say we're okay with this, I will not vote for that because I'm not okay with it.
Right, okay.
But I don't know if that then throws the budget planning process under the bus.
I don't think it does, because this is to consider and approve a draft proposed. This is draft. This is not final. And the key word there is
There's
draft.
a draft, and it can be amended.
It can be amended. So this is not a final, Councillor Carson.
Looking at, for instance, aspects relating to the Amenities Committee who have already approved the draft budget would have to be then reapproved by Amenities, which is not until after the informal budget setting. So when I say I don't want to throw things under the bus, Amenities don't have time to reapprove another budget.
Right, okay. No, I get your point. And I think if there's issues on here that we're not comfortable with, then we should highlight it, not approve it, and then move through and highlight those specific items and take those back to Jenny.
What is, so we have our informal.
This is the one that Jenny called for a couple of, next week or the week after?
Next week,
Next week, next Thursday.
Martin.
So you could, like we did at the Amenities,
Yes.
you make amendments now, draft,
Yeah.
go away, have them changed so that the final one,
Yeah.
and even at the final one, you can still make amendments.
Agreed.
But after that, you cannot.
Agreed.
So for those 2 points there and other points, go away and see.
We as finance admin personnel can make adjustment to this.
Yes.
Even though Amenities has said, yeah, we're good with that. Yeah, okay, that might be my missing link of information. I'm more than happy to say my lack of knowledge, but my analytical skills say we need, you know, we know we've got a lot of work, we know that we have funds that we need to allocate elsewhere for the future.
So as it's still in its draft form, if I was you, and you've made some valid points there, might be worth seeking some clarification from Frances, because I knew she took a lot of notes down during that meeting, and so did I. On greening, for example, it's a very good point. I can't remember some of the paperwork.
Greening, I don't remember greening being
not greening, sorry, the hedges.
Hedges, yeah. But there were 2 lines for hedges. So why don't we just go through line by line, and then the things that we all agree upon, tick, done, move on, and the ones that we don't agree or that we need clarification on, we park and we look seek clarification.
Okay.
Yep. So, let's go through these. The first line I've got on my page, because these aren't numbered, apologies for that, but the first one I've got is DCK accounting, correct? Remote accounting support, £500 a month, earmark any underspent at year end of salaries. So this is a line of budget for this year of 6,000, and there's no planned budget for next year because of some recommendations that are coming out in the further agenda. So my belief is that we should be, quote, okay with that, providing we have the discussion and it goes in the right way for the DCK accounting. Agreed? That's a yes, yeah?
Yeah.
I'm looking for
There is only one fly in the ointment, and obviously we discussed something relating to this later, that should the plan be agreed on future staffing requirements and so on, should that not work for whatever reason,
then we need to bring this back.
We haven't got anything in the budget
for next year for accounting.
Next year, if we then need.
But remember, this is draft.
This is draft though, so if we don't agree with the plans that are being put forward later on the agenda, Councillor Carson, then we can, as Joe just mentioned, because it's draft, we can bring it back in and make sure that we have a budget for DCK accounting or whoever we use if we don't follow through with the accounting recommendation that's on the agenda. So, and I would earmark that as a tick, that's okay, unless we do have a discussion later and we decide that that's not going to be part of the plan moving forward, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah? All right. That's DCK accounting. Next one, vehicles, buildings, insurance and contents. This is a standard insurance thing.
Yeah.
This year was 9.5, next year's 10.5. Insurance has gone up, increment of 3%, etc. Seems a little bit excessive, but you know what? Insurance has gone up. I'm okay with that in principle. 3% on 9.5 is not 10.5, but
all I would say is in there,
Land
looking
at
at that,
Lingham's
I was
Lane.
going to say Inham's Lane, we're not proceeding with, are we?
no. So we don't need the additional insurance for that. So it's a good call. So perhaps, if I may suggest, it should be 9,500 plus 3% and not 9.5 to 10.5.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed?
Mm-hmm.
That's a yes, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. So that 10.5 needs to be reduced to 3% of 9.5. Okay? Yeah? Agreed? Yeah, Councillor Clarkson, all right? Okay. Marty, yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Right. DCC, CIO, rent, hire of facilities, old parish offices at the old school. We're picking them all here, aren't we?
At this point in time, I don't think we have any choice but to continue.
Agreed. Agreed. Absolutely agreed. No, agreed. So we continue as is, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, fine. Hall and pitch hire. It was 17 for this year and it's now 18 for next year. Horticultural allowance and additional meetings held at 5% incremental charge. It feels about right, but anyone got any comments on that hall and pitch
No,
hire?
that seems just about right.
Okay, tick, done. Telephone. 3 mobile phones for officers. Who are the 3, by the way? Joe, Matt, you?
Planet, well, the other one's got, so, not Francis. So the 3 clerks have got one, they share one,
Right.
and Jenny's got one.
So Jenny, Clark, share and yours?
Yeah.
Okay. So 1,700 to 1,800, sorry, beg your pardon, 3.5 to 3.5, so it's flat. And we've already got 16 in, so we've actually got 5.1 in the budget for phones, which seems a lot, to be honest, but that's my, sorry, Councillor Carson?
It certainly does seem a lot. I think also, I don't think it's something we can do for this moment. We do need to, I think, look openly at our mobile phone.
100% agreed.
Because there was £170 call charges. What's our contract? Not even including unlimited calls. I think we just, that's one thing.
So one of the things we've just cut out about 6 mobile phones that weren't in use that we had contracts for. So we have removed that.
But in
Yeah.
call, which is great. In call charges, on top of the contracts that are being paid for, it doesn't seem to. We've got £170 worth of calls being claimed for. So we just it's not something we can address tonight. But I think again openly in terms of our streamlining, rationalisation, that's an exercise that I would anticipate.
I agree that's an outstanding action, but I think for the time being we just let that go through, right? As it is, yeah? Postage, flat, agreed. Chairman's allowance, there's nothing for next year, but I've got 400, we have 400 in the budget for this, and we've got 304 carried over. So we've got 704 as a chairman's allowance for next year.
You will, I would imagine that your chairman's allowance is a maximum of 400, so the underspend will be moved to elsewhere.
There may be something that you've just signed off, or you will be signing off today for a memorial.
I haven't signed off yet.
Yeah, that is to do, I believe, from the chairman's budget.
Okay.
And
From the previous chairman's budget.
My suggestion of the donated to the year award will come from the.
I haven't seen that yet. I know we talked about it, but I haven't seen anything.
Yes,
So there's no budget for next year for the chairman's because there's 304 in the 400 there. Okay, am I right with that? All right.
Yep.
Okay, fine. Then we'd see newsletter printing. 7,725, so 3,2 for the budget, and we meant 3,5, and we got 213. So we've got 3,7. Still seems quite excessive, but on the absence of knowing anything specific about Denmead scene, what we're doing, how we're doing it, how big, how size, how frequency, I'm probably inclined to leave as is, just to give us a bit of wriggle room, unless anyone's got any other comments. No? Good. Denmead scene distribution. 550 this year, 550 next year. I'm guessing that's what we've been quoted by the people, so we just have to go with that. Agreed? Agreed. Subscriptions and membership. See list of subscriptions below. Below.
Yeah. And it isn't.
Where is the subscriptions list? I don't see a list of subscriptions below. Or do you? I don't see that, sorry. Have I got anything that you haven't? Or see list of subscriptions below.
Do they mean these ones?
That's stationery and publications and
that's,
payroll.
Yeah, there's no.
I can't see anything there, Joe.
No.
So, in the absence of data to qualify why we're spending 7,000, same this year, last year, I would suggest that I'm not comfortable with the subscriptions and memberships because I don't know what the subscriptions are. I mean, Halk must be in there.
Yeah, Halk will be in there.
That's one of them. That's the only one I can think of.
No, we've got Smart Marketing.
Okay.
That does our website.
But perhaps you just need to see the
we'll
list
have
of
QIC, which
QIC,
is our
yeah.
IT. But you haven't got a listings of that.
Into these items on this side.
the smart marketing, IT support, election.
Starting on that line 5, or lines item 5 or 6, IT support QIC. It's one of the things I've got queried. The next one.
But why have they got line items and prices next to them then? When at the moment the subscriptions are all loaded in together with 7,000. I'm not clear, so I'm not happy with it.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So in that case, I propose that we don't sign off on subscriptions and memberships. We need more data or more qualifications. Agreed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Stationery at year end transfer underspend to a stationery drawdown. So stationery was 1,000, and we've got 18,891 in the pot. So we've got £1,800. I don't know what the stationery. We haven't spent anything yet. So
well, we're not proposing an
increase.
We're not looking to
In that
take
case,
any.
Sorry. So it actually does say there's been no spend on stationery year to date.
that's what it says here.
Is that?
No, there has been spend.
But this is only up until the end of September, in September though, right? So it's only half a year.
This is to June, so it's
June,
actually
sorry.
April
Correct.
to June, but zero spend on stationery.
No, we've had stationery
Yeah, that's
orders.
my
Yeah.
concern, is there must have been spend on
Well,
stationery and it's
Envelopes and printing and everything else. So perhaps that needs a double click.
it's not there.
Agreed. So,
But we're not asking for any money for that. It's a zero.
and we have 891 carried over.
Yeah.
So in theory, if the 891 carried over is almost the same as the budget for this year, almost the same, within £109, right? Roughly.
Yeah.
So
our
I think
proposed budget is a zero.
If we spend on stationery, it should appear in this column.
Agreed.
And it says zero.
Agreed.
But we know that that's not the case. There has been spend.
Right, but it may have been that we bought a whole bunch at the end of last year and we haven't used and we haven't spent any more.
But the clerk has said there has been spend.
So we need to clarify it then.
Yeah, if there's a zero there.
Let's clarify. Let's clarify.
And there's zeros out, we have to know.
Let's clarify.
Sure. Is it because the bill's not come in
Okay.
yet? Or?
Let's clarify. Publications, there's no budget and no forecasted budget, although we've got 496 in the pot. So I'm not quite sure what publications that may be, but unless anyone's got any comments, I would suggest we let that go because there's nothing this year and nothing next, and we've got 500 carried over anyway, correct?
I wonder if this includes things like if we need to drop flyers for whatever point. So, for instance, like notifying tree works and stuff, or does that just come off a admin type budget?
I don't think that's a publication, though.
We
Or perhaps we just ask for clarification on what is a publication, because
yeah.
if we don't know, and we're struggling between the four of us,
Yeah.
then we just need to seek clarification.
Yeah.
Although there's a zero line, but we have got 500, almost
Yeah.
500, sorry,
Yeah.
in the file. So let's ask for clarification on what is the publications. Agreed?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Payroll administration, James Todd.
Yeah.
This should be a fixed number, 1,700, 1,700, we spent 245.
Yeah.
Actual, that seems about right based on the numbers. I'm guessing that's what we need. We're not going to increase or decrease the staff dramatically. Therefore, the payroll needs to stand as is. So I would recommend we stick with that number. Agreed?
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Photocopier, cartridges and toners. I always struggled with this one on the basis that it's so expensive. However, now we're halving it. So that's good news. But
I say again, it's showing zero expenditure unless there was bulk purchase.
Yes,
Yeah.
so we haven't, since I've been here since January, we have not purchased any toners, but we now have no toners.
we have no toners.
Yeah,
Right.
there was I think there was probably a
Sounds like we've
previous
got a budget to
order.
buy some.
Yeah. We will need to, yeah.
Okay, so we were planning this year for 2. We're now planning next year for 1. By the sounds of it, we haven't got any anyway. I don't know how much toners cost in the number of printers, whether 1,000 is enough for next year, but we've got 2 for this year. I would suggest we leave it and buy it and spend the £2,000 that we've got for this year. Any comments?
Well,
we got 2 for this year.
We spend what
We got in the budget.
sees as needed as long as it's within 2,000.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't imagine a toner or toner or cartridges being more than £2,000, that's for sure. Okay, so we'll leave that as it is, okay? And I think the action there is to buy some toners and cartridges, right?
We have, yeah.
Travel, councillors, draw down travel councillors, nothing, and we've got 1,600 in the pot. I'm guessing this is for travel expenses for councillors to go to meetings in Hampshires and Winchesters. We've started claiming that. You have.
But that won't have been paid yet because that
Correct.
is in the ones for sign
And that will
off
come off
tonight.
of that 1598. There's no budget in it and there's no expense, but no plan. So we'll leave it as it is, okay? Agreed?
Yeah.
Fine. Right. Second page, travel for office staff, draw down. Similar again, 1,096. I think we just leave that as it is. Agreed? Training, parish office staff and councillors. A number of new clerks and councillors require training. Budget was 1,000 for this year, plan for next year 1,000, and we've actually got 1,020 in the pot. Based on the HAUC costs, that seems about right, although it's probably a little low. It would be my gut. I don't know whether anyone's got the HAUC training, the 3 for the chairmans and for the awareness of how to be a councillor and all the new stuff. I think, don't quote me, Joe, I think it was about £60 or £80 per person.
Yep.
Roughly.
So, yeah, it was,
So if we have 6 new councillors next year, for example, there's £500 straight away on how to be a councillor, right? If
and
we
you've
have
also got to consider Silka training next year.
absolutely, I haven't gone on to that yet, but
But that will
is
be
that
under the
councilled in
training.
there? Yeah,
And
that's a good
with
call.
the consideration of Silka training, I think we may not have put enough in there.
No, I was just about to say, when you add the Silka in, as well as the staff training, the councillors training, the chairman's training and everything else training, that 1,000 for the next year in the green column is probably not sufficient and it needs to increase.
Can I ask our clerk do you actually know what the current cost of the Silka training is?
No, I won't get that to you.
It was
My understanding it's quite expensive.
Yeah, I was going to say 1,500 quid.
It is very expensive.
Yeah, I was going to say it's 4 digits. So, unless we've got any science behind us at the moment.
Well, I think we're just looking at what the cost of Silka on its own is, because that gives us a very firm baseline, doesn't it?
Yep. But certainly the 1,000 needs to change for the next budget.
Yeah, it's over 1,000. So one.
It says here between £300 and £675 plus VAT.
Yeah. It can be as high as 1,100 plus VAT.
So let's call it £1,000 plus VAT. Just give us a bit of wriggle room, right? So I would suggest that 1,000 in the green needs to go to 2,000. Agreed?
Yeah, fine. Yep.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
Bank charges. We didn't have anything in the budget for this year, and we're now planning 250. I don't understand why we have to pay a bank charge if we're in credit.
Businesses have bank charges.
This is what's that?
Businesses all have bank charges.
Yeah, but my business bank charge is nowhere near. Well, I don't know actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, okay, fine. Yeah, okay. Point taken. Shut up, Chris. Legal fees, general retainer, TOSers. I'll talk to you about that tomorrow because I spoke to other councillors tonight. 17 this year, 2,000 for next year. In the absence of any knowledge.
So the annual retainer, so when we will contact TOSers for matters like we were discussing today, that is within our retainer. So basic knowledge, when we've gone for advice about land disputes, things like that. Legal matters to do with any basic legal matters. Only if we have to go further do we pay an extra.
Right.
What is defined as going further?
So when we...
Yeah, anything outside of their normal remit of what we would expect their services to conduct. That is normal.
Because we have had some significant charges.
Yeah,
we have, but we've done
But we haven't spent anything so far this year. We haven't spent anything on it.
Well, that's weird.
Perhaps we haven't invoiced them yet.
I don't know. Is it quarterly they invoice us? I can't remember.
Monthly.
Is it monthly they do?
We're actually asking for £300 more than this year.
I think we've got to, just for now, I think the same as in the absence of
data.
We should go for that, but I could swear I've seen charges for TOSers.
So we're happy with legal fees retainer for 2,000, agreed?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Audit fees, internal and external. I have to rely on Jenny for this one. It's 5,000, was 4,250. I've got no science other than to accept her word on that one, so I'm okay with that one. Any other comments? Okay. IT support, quick. QIC, telephone services, 53 a month. There's nothing in this year, but there's an 800 for next year. Not quite sure why we didn't have anything for this year. Is that because with QIC?
It's only till June. It's only April to June.
It's 53 a month, but we haven't invoiced them at all, or they haven't invoiced us since the first 3 months. It's 800 only. Telephone services we need, so I would say yes.
It is our phone line.
Office, we might query the quality of it, but that's a different issue, right? QIC, network support, web router, domain hosting, and
10,000.
That seems excessive.
Yeah, I have to say, I saw that and I thought, what?
It seems excessive. I personally think that that's up for negotiation big time.
You could put 8.5 in there.
Well, you pay for Microsoft licenses on each of the domains, on each of the. So you've got your web page, you've got your laptops for the PCs for the clerks, and the RFO. So there's 3, there's 4, there's 5. There's 5 PCs with licenses.
There's 6 because there's one for the accountant as well.
Yeah, so those licenses are going to be at least £300-400 each. It says 764 here, which is quite expensive. Then you've got your Sage licenses, and you've got your backup and cloud. It's 10,000 is excessive. I think it should be less than 10, but I think it should be. We do have to have it, obviously, but it's not cheap. And I do believe that in the big scheme of things, we do need to look at how we buy these services next year or the ultimate year, because personally, I don't think we've done much of a, dare I say, a negotiation with QIC to say, come on guys, we need a bit cheaper here. But I would suggest, I think Councillor Clay suggested 8.5, I would make that probably an 8 as opposed to 8.5, just to give us a bit of wiggle room.
We can do that, given, I don't, if
you leave it as it is, I mean?
Yeah, because I think, whilst I agree, I was quite horrified at that. If those are the actual costs perceived, I think we should leave it at 10, so we don't, how I worked it back. I actually think that's one we can over the next period negotiate and agree and look at the whole package, but
Yeah.
you know
Okay.
what, we've got enough on
Well,
our plate right now.
Agreed. Additional consultancy hours of 4,000 is built in there as well, which seems excessive. But I can't comment. I can't qualify it or quantify it. However, I'm okay to leave it at 10, but I think we do need to double click on it in this current fiscal year. Sorry, in the next fiscal year, because I think that's quite excessive. So we'll leave it at 10. All right. And IT support. Here we go. Domain renewal. 170 for 2 years again. I mean, that's £200. I would agree with that domain, but that should all be lumped into QIC systems and not a separate line item. Not sure why it is. Smart marketing, website and spam filtering. That's at 500. Again, I don't understand why it's not all lumped together. But
Smart marketing is a separate company.
okay, but I think it's not supplied to by QIC.
No,
Okay.
so it's Smart Marketing is the company.
Right.
That's
And the
company
website and the spam filtering, that's for our DPC website.
Yeah, yes.
So it's fairly small, so I'm okay with that, all right? Election expenses. To accumulate funds in readiness for an election, earmark underspend. Now, we had 500, which was in the budget, and now we're forecasting 2,000. Now, and we've got 7,900 in the pot, so we've got 8,500 available to spend potentially.
But we've also because we've got a bill due in of approximately £15,000 from Winchester City Council for the last by-election.
Splendid.
That was the expectation from Winchester.
So in that case, that 2,000 for next year is probably not. One election is going to blow that £2,000 pretty quickly. Sorry, Councillor Carson.
The other thing is, May 26, as far as I'm aware, we're on an election year. If there are more candidates, so every single, I believe I'm correct, every single councillor has to re-stand. If there are more candidates than seats, it will be an election.
The last election was 2023.
Yeah,
So May, so 2023 was.
It's in next budget year.
Is it 4 years?
every 4 years.
So
It's every 4 years, so it would be
2027 then?
2027.
Yeah, so it's not next
I
year.
looked up the election cycle on Winchester and it was May 26.
What for Denmead?
See,
The
I
last
think-
one, what they confirmed to us this week, the last one that took place was May 2023,
Yeah,
which
'cause
is
I've
when
only
you
been-
became
I've
elected.
only been elected for 3 years. I was co-option before that because I just joined actually, funny enough, after we missed the previous one. So
Okay,
yeah,
so if it's an election year, if it's an election,
We need to double check.
so we need to double check. If an election year is to happen in the next fiscal year, in May 26, then we need to increase the amount. If it's not an election amount, sorry, not an election year, we can probably, we still need to, we still got, so we still need to move the £2,000 up anyway for an election to cover the bills for this year.
Well,
By-
we'll have to find money elsewhere and do environment.
Yeah,
I believe that's what Jenny was
I think
planning.
that's what Jenny was doing, yeah.
I'm sure, absolutely sure that she's on it.
So the only question therefore is that we need to understand whether it's an election in 26 or 27. Agreed?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Recruitment, Indeed and the News. This is recruitment for office and ground staff, I'm guessing.
Or recruitment, yes.
advertising.
Advertising. We have 500 this year and we're looking at 1,000. Do we typically recruit in Indeed and the News?
I was recruited through Indeed.
Were you?
Yes.
Okay. And do we
And
do
so
it at
was
ground
Liz.
staff?
So was Liz and Lucy were recruited by
Okay.
Indeed.
And listen, I mean, for 1,000 versus 500, it probably stays as it is, right?
Yeah.
I mean, unless anyone's got anything violent.
And it could be because we
Okay.
do have
Yeah.
other
Okay.
considerations
Leave.
later to discuss.
Neighbourhood planning. Oh my word. Village design statement reviews, drawdown at year end, earmark underspent budget. 6,000 this year, nothing for next year, but 4.5 in the pot for carried over, right? Oh, where'd you start with this one? Neighbourhood planning and village design. So we would have had a village, say, neighbourhood plan submitted before the end of this fiscal year, right? So that would have spent the 4.5, if it's 4.5, before the end of April, before the end of March this year, right? The question is that we've got nothing in the pot for next year. A draft budget proposal.
So can I go back to this year?
Yeah.
So this municipal year. So April. When are we anticipating that the referendum will take place? Because that has cost.
Doesn't say. We're talking about neighbourhood planning.
Neighbourhood plan.
Yeah, the Denby neighbourhood plan.
Yes. So when it goes to referendum to the village,
Yeah.
every household.
Yeah.
Right.
It will go between now and March.
Right. So this means we don't have.
We've got 6,000 in the budget, and we've spent 77 to date. Plus, we've got 4,500 overage.
Simple question: do we know how much a referendum is going to cost us? And I don't.
That's a different question, and the answer is no, we don't.
Right. So I think we need to make sure we understand how much a referendum is going to cost, and do we have enough money
This year.
To cover that?
Right.
So what, we've got 4,500 in.
We've got 4,500 and 6, so that's 10,500, and we spent 77.
We can look at each other. I don't know how
No, I get your point, Councillor Carter, I get that.
This is what we're proposing, isn't it?
Sorry?
This is what we're proposing, isn't it?
The green.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's nothing in there for next year. So what we're saying is there's no neighbourhood plan spend or village design statement for next year. Not this year, we're talking next year. So we're not talking this year, we're talking April 26 to March 27. Now, to your point, I don't know what a referendum costs, Councillor Carson, but
because if we overspend, it will, and it's a significant overspend, it will wipe out that earmarked reserve.
It would.
Is my point.
Yeah.
Therefore, you're looking at the earmarked reserve as being available for the next municipal year. I'm suggesting we don't know that it will be. Because we don't know how much a referendum this year. If it costs more than £6,000.
So yeah, I propose we go back to Jenny and ask
And
her
understand
for
that
breakdown
agreed.
of
No, I think
finances
that's fair. I think
because
that's
that
reasonable.
6,000 is partially made up of the earmarked reserve.
to
Yes.
include.
No, I think going back to Jenny to clarify for the neighbourhood plan and the village design statement on what a referendum costs. Yeah?
To cover all publications and consultations,
Because
etc.
then we can decide
Agreed.
what we need for
Okay, done.
next year.
Okay, moving on. Village events, project management and supply of materials. Allocation if council are intending to hold a summer party each year plus £1,000 for a chicken run. Whatever a chicken run is. But anyway.
It's a
So,
good event, the chicken run.
So
but Katie runs.
Yeah.
Yeah, she runs that.
summer party, I'm hearing that we're not running one.
I
We're
understand.
doing a Glastonbury.
Sorry?
We're doing a Glastonbury. Giving it a break for you.
When I read the documentation way back, I understood that Katie was taking a sabbatical effectively.
Yeah, for 12
And
months.
there were suggestions that we might do something on King George V.
Not next year
No.
though.
So, and I would suggest also, and obviously that might actually be a full council decision, that it would be sensible given how much we've got to get to grips with over this next year, that we don't try and create a village event in place of the...
Don't disagree. We've got 7,000 planned in the budget for next year as it is today. So I would suggest we leave it as it is.
Or why, if
We've
we
spent.
make the decision that we're not having...
Well, we don't know yet. We haven't made a decision. Well, we've made a decision not to hold a summer
Yeah,
party,
so-
but there might be another event. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so we're not doing a summer party next year, so we're taking a break. So it will come back in 2027.
But we
But
don't need it
The
for next
council
year.
could look at doing other events in the village
That was
if
my
it
point.
feels necessary.
That was my
even
point.
if it's low key. If you want my view, I would change that 7 to a 5.
I agree.
Okay, fine.
Alright.
Done. Okay, happy with that?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Health and safety audit of DPC facilities, Kroner Group, 105 a month. That sounds about right. It's 15, it's flat. Okay, tick, done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Human Resource Solutions. Well, this is Barry.
Yeah.
Grantwood Associates, £6 an hour, 2,000, and it's gone, for some reason it's yellow on my book.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know why it's yellow. It's gone from 2,000 to 3,000. Obviously, I'm guessing because people are suggesting that we're going to be using more of Barry than we did this year.
Why would that be?
Well, I was going to struggle with that, to understand
Okay.
why more Barry when we got less people to manage Barry with, if that makes sense. But I looked at Joe, I know that you used, sorry, Councillor Clay. No, go on.
Yeah, sure, I interrupted, I should know that. Yeah, so seeing that I think now we're in a more comfortable place moving forward with council, I don't think we need to budget that high.
Okay.
Personally.
And I think that hopefully we'll become more comfortable with the legal services as and when required.
Yeah.
How?
Yeah. Or anywhere else, let's not assume.
The trust is
Agreed.
maintained.
I would
I
like.
would hope. But there are situations, I think, where Barry has been extremely useful.
Don't disagree.
And the only issue I have with Halk is you can't pick up the phone to them.
But we're not talking how, we're talking Barry. So are we planning on spending more with Barry, less with Barry, or the same as Barry?
Comments with Halk then support the need to continue to use Barry. But I don't.
So are we in agreement that it should be more than this year or the same as last year?
So I propose we make a reduction by 1,000, just because we do have Help, we do have Corona, and we do have Tozer, so we always have another option rather than...
I would like to, before we second that or vote on that proposal, Joe, you're the person who probably speaks to Barry probably the most out of all of us.
So discussing those other places, so you're looking at Krona, we would have to pay Krona. So if we go to HR, we would be paying Krona for that service. It's very limited stuff within what we pay monthly to help. A lot of it would be outsourced and we would have to pay. So I don't think you've got alternatives without paying. As I say, from when I started in January, what he's actually supported me with has been tremendous. Do you mean, I can't fault what he's done. Whether I think there should be an increase, for the following year, I'm hoping things will settle down.
I would agree with you, and I'd hope that would be the case. So with that data, I mean, I would suggest, therefore, to second Martin's suggestion of 2,000 versus 3,000, and leave that as that. Okay? Yeah,
I'd
done.
like to ask our clerk if she's happy with that suggestion, because she is the one who has that.
I think Joe nodded, but I think
I don't think we need to increase. I think we've probably done.
Okay.
I think we've probably done our biggest year.
Okay. Climate control and environmental change. There's no budget, no forecast. There's a pot of 968. I suggest we leave that in there. I don't know what.
Well, do we? What is it? And it's nearly £1,000. What is it there for? What is it? There's nearly £1,000.
Well, let's seek clarification then.
Yeah, maybe it does. If we need to have some emergency contingency, the village has no water for 3 days, and we have to buy bottled water for the entire village.
Maybe more than 968 quid. Well, let's ask for clarification on what climate control and environmental change is. Okay. Hopefully we know what DBS checks are, and we've got no budget or no planned. Now, there was a discussion that councillors coming on board, new councillors, would need to be DBS checked. There was a mooted discussion, I believe. I don't know where that went.
So there is no legal requirement to complete a DBS check for a councillor or clerks if they are not in direct contact with children.
Okay.
Or vulnerable adults.
Right.
And in which case you'd need a full enhanced DBS.
And then you would need a full enhanced.
So in that case, we said 0, we planned 0, so we leave it at that.
Yeah, because there may be cases where we do need to.
Do our ground staff, are they DBS?
No, because they're not in direct.
Not in
some
direct.
some aren't. But so new people that come on board are DBS checked.
So let's leave it at that.
At basic level.
So let's leave it at 0, okay? Old school, major repair work, special projects, actual 13/30/20 sewage. Oh yes, remember this one. Budget was 10, and there's 6.5 in the pot. Now, I'm guessing we leave that as it is because the sewage and the drainage to be done. Now, I know that there may be other work for DCC that we're going to come on to, I think, either in the next full council or whatever. But this was for major repair because we're the landlord for DCC and we don't know what we don't know.
Exactly, you can't foresee.
No, exactly. So Sorry?
So yeah, you can't foresee. So
Yeah. So at the moment we spent 13, we've got a budget of 10, we're forecasting 10, and we've actually got 6.5 still in the pot.
6680
Yeah.
on because that's after the overspend on the sewage pipes and so on, which would actually mean that the budgeted amount would have 16,680 going forward, which sounds a lot of money.
Yeah, but we don't know what we don't know. If the roof falls in here tomorrow, then we've got to repair the roof.
But I would just say that previously we had considered that a 10,000 budget is sufficient. But if there's no more major spend before year end, we're actually then looking at 16, nearly 17,000 in the pot, which I think is, we've considered that.
So you suggesting the 10,000 is too high?
Yes, because if we don't spend another 4,000 or something between now and year end, then 10,000 is too high because we.
I think they'll be spending 4,000 on this building in the next 6 months.
So what you could also remember is what we don't spend this year will fall into the pot for next year. And
Correct.
Then when we come to review the next municipal year budget, we may not have to make an increase because there's already some in the pot.
Okay, but
Good point.
I know balance is now.
I think this is something people are losing sight of in the budget settings. We have a big squeeze on this year. Next year we're back to steady state in terms of our increases on precept. Precept, we have a squeeze on this year.
No, don't disagree, Councillor Carson, but what we don't know is what is the repair list of things to do for this building.
Where do you want me to start?
But we don't know that. I mean, I haven't seen the master list of. I mean, okay, we know the big thing, which is the replacement building and the toilets or whatever else. But when we were having the DCC meeting, the path, the road and the tarmac all needs doing, etc., etc. So there's quite a few things that need doing. Now, I don't know. I'm not suggesting they should all be done, by the way. I'm just saying there's a shopping list. However, that needs to be prioritised into what's essential versus what's required, what's nice to have.
Yeah, we did have a shopping list per se.
I haven't seen it, by the way.
Before your time.
Okay.
You know, our priority regarding the DCC is to do this larger piece of work urgently, which we're going to do.
So the question is, do we leave the budget the same or not?
I'd like to.
We'd like to. Okay. Councillor Carson?
I'm not going to, dig my heels in or anything. I just think we considered 10,000 was enough previously. I suppose in actual fact, in reality, it wasn't because we've got an overspend.
Okay, fine. Considered talked in. Right, okay, thank you. Printing sponsorship signage. I think this is for the flower beds in the village and stuff. I think that's very small. I'll let it go, okay? Unless anyone's got any big issues. Greening Den... No? Okay, greening Denmead.
No.
Getting that checked on, aren't we?
As discussed before, I don't know what.
What is it?
Let's get that checked.
What is it? Question mark. Okay, right. Annual parish meeting and community engagement at year end transfer and spending. So we had 1,000 in the budget. We've got nothing for this year. Councillor Clay.
So I'll ask Joe for this one because you did our latest annual parish meeting. How much for printing costs and? Do you think that's quite reasonable for next year?
The annual parish meeting booklets were completed by me.
Oh.
So they were done within our budget.
Internally?
I printed them.
Did you? Okay.
I produced them and printed them.
We didn't know that. Well done. Thank you. So in that case, do we... Go on, Councillor Carson, sorry.
I know that nibbles and wine and drinks and things like that, I actually don't agree with that. I don't think our residents come to a parish council meeting for a free glass of wine and some nibbles. And I actually take another view that says, my view is, I don't want my money being spent on wine and nibbles.
So we did not spend any money this year on wine. The wine that we used this year was from the previous year, so we did it.
It's old wine.
So it was, and there is still wine left.
Is there?
There's probably
what,
another.
In the fridge?
It's locked away in the cupboard, in the parish office cupboard.
Okay, so do we need a budget for a parish meeting and a community engagement event for this year?
You need a budget, but I don't think you need.
I would.
£1,000 underspend this year with 338 earmarks. So I'm not really.
I would think £500. Would that be sufficient, do you think? Sorry, Councillor Clay?
I was going to propose 250.
250?
250, looking at the pot 300, so that would take us just over for 500 all in all.
Okay.
I'll go for that.
So we do have the hire of the hall, so that would be something we have to consider.
Yeah.
But
I'd be happy with 2.
Yeah,
It would just fall
okay.
into next year's sort of thing.
And presumably then we've got the hire of the hall for the extraordinary.
Extraordinary what, sorry?
At the church hall.
That was this year, we're talking for next year.
No, but it's not showing.
Hasn't come through yet.
I'm saying there's zero.
There's more cost
spend.
coming in
Yeah,
for this year,
there's zero spend, but that's not actually true.
Yeah. So I'll be happy to change that to 250.
The annual parish meeting and communication, okay, fine.
Yeah.
250?
Yeah, change that.
Okay. Councillor Carson, okay with that? Yeah. Okay, hospitality, general power of competency. Refreshments at neighbourhood plan meetings, etc. Now, there's two things here. There's the general power of competency, the Local Government Act, etc., which we don't have to date, correct? Not yet. I know. However, and then it's muddled in with refreshments at neighbourhood plan meetings, which to me is a separate item completely.
and APA isn't
And APAs. So I'm not. This is hospitality. So this is cucumber sandwiches and soft drinks and alcohol and nibbles for general power of competency ? Neighbourhood plan meetings ? And APA. So
Well, I've got remove on it.
I'm comfortable to remove it.
I would,
Yeah.
Agreed? Right, done. Good, thank you. Right, getting down this list now. Not too many more. Page 1 down. How are we doing? Right, let's see if we can.
It's the amenities one now.
Right, amenities. Now remember, this is draft. So just putting it out there. Okay, and if we don't have, let's see if we can get a bit speedy through these on the basis that if we don't have all the relevant information, then we park it and go and get more information outside the meeting, okay?
Yeah, that would
Sorry,
seem
Councillor Clay?
that would seem sensible as we haven't got Frances here tonight, that she can clarify some of the things.
Agreed.
About
So unless we know the answers, then we park it. So the first one, maintenance, machine maintenance, 8,000. I think we suggested that we leave that as it is. Agreed? Agreed. Pavilion and old school electrical EPC draw 500, 2,000. Big increase, not sure why. We did the EPC thing for the DCC and that was £950.
Without the sheet down in front of me, which I sat next to Frances,
Yeah.
I can't remember what she told me for that.
So we query it then, okay? If we don't, let's not debate it now. Let's query it. Vehicle insurance, road taxes. That's fairly standard. I'm suggesting we leave that as it is. Agreed?
Yeah.
Because that's CCTV, security and maintenance. Again, it's flat, 3,000. I would suggest we leave that as it is because we can see actual versus spend versus budget. Agreed?
It's normally about just under 1,000 per year.
Well,
I have a query on this because we've got an £895
Just under
56 per annum predicted, and yet we've got, well, the actual spend 580 already, budgeted 3,000 and draft.
I don't disagree with you. I think, Councillor Carson, I think it's a query because I think the 3,000 budget and the 3,000 forecasting for next year seems high based on what we spent. So let's query it, okay?
Because we've got an actual of 895.
Yeah, let's query it. Okay. Facilities maintenance, 2,000 for this, 4,000 for next, and we spent 1,000 almost to date on facilities maintenance. Well, I don't know, and we had this discussion before, and I can't recall, so I'm afraid I'm going to have to say query, because I don't know what it is.
It's what's it for, and why has it doubled?
Agreed. Vandalism. We don't have a budget for it, we don't have a plan for it, and we have an underspend of 1220. Yes, we're going to get vandalism, yes, we're going to have to repair things. I'm surprised there's no budget. We did have a discussion on this.
We don't have an underspend, we have an earmarked.
Beg your pardon, you're right, it wasn't my mistake. An earmarked. 1200. But we did have a discussion, I thought, at amenities that vandalism occurs, and therefore things like parish notice boards, things like
which we've had,
we've had damages.
The play park's
So
been
I would
damaged
query
all the time,
that, because I actually think we need to have a budget in there for vandalism, whether it be benches, notice boards, and every such like. So I would like to query that on the basis that we should have something in it to cover vandalism.
But we have got something in it.
It says zero
we've
here.
got an earmarked reserve to draw down on.
Which is the 1220, agreed. But if that was at 1220, but that's been carried forward from multiple years ago, because there was nothing this year or currently forecasted for this. So if it's 1220, Councillor Carson, has come from 2 years ago, then that's fine, that's a data point. What we don't have is anything planned for this year or planned for next year. And if that's okay, because our vandalism shopping list is small, then 1220 may be sufficient. I just don't know. That's all I'm saying. But notice boards has been something that we keep. Let's query, yes. Travel expenses, ground staff. That's all zero, and we have a drawdown of 295. I don't know whether travel expenses are needed by the ground staff. I guess they are occasionally.
On occasions, yeah.
It's rare as opposed to mandatory. So I would suggest we leave that at zero and just cover it accordingly. Agreed? Training for the ground staff. We did talk about this as well for the amenities. This year was 1,000. We have a draw of 4. I would think leaving it at zero is plenty sufficient, because we've got something in the pot, so to speak, right? Yeah. Right. Tree works. To keep funds accumulating in readiness of works highlighted in tree surveys. At year end, earmark underspend 25, 26. So we had 10,000 in the budget for this. We spent 1,100, and we got an earmarked whopping total of £38,000, which seems an extraordinary amount to me.
Yeah.
We got 5,000 trees in the village, right? 5,000 trees in the village. Yeah. So everyone keeps telling me.
We have the scheduled work on Southwark Roads starting in October. I mean, the tree work bills are going to start coming in now, aren't they?
And we're just about to have we're due the tree survey to be completed, which we will expect works.
We've got
a lot of works to come back off the back.
£38,000 worth.
The 1,000 for the emergency removal of the 2 trees that fell in the field. I agree.
I know tree work is expensive. I get that.
I agree that 38 grand is a whopping amount, plus which any understand from this year is going to go on top of that. Yeah. Not sure what understand we're going to.
So you've got £46,000 to spend, basically.
If I remember correctly.
Well, no, we won't, because there are bills coming in that we won't. That's what I'm saying. I'm not sure what's already planned.
Right.
I think the 10. I'm trying to remember what the quote was for Southwark Road. It's quite a lot.
It was about 10 or 12, I thought.
So if I remember correctly from the amenities meeting last time, what I wrote down in here, what Francis says, those two 0 and 0, I would leave them as they are and just bump them for the moment.
The tree works and tree survey?
Yeah, because they both went together. Do you remember?
Yes.
And she did give us a
tree
reason
survey
why.
element, if we're going to come on to that, is a different matter completely, 100%.
One is maintenance and one is proactive logging of how many trees, what type of trees, and where they are trees.
I mean, the 38 grand feels horrifically high, even knowing that we've got.
Okay, so without debating it in too much detail, do we want more clarification on the tree works before we approve that?
I think we need to be very clear on what the tree works schedule and plan is. Then you have to add contingency for the unexpected.
Okay. I'm not uncomfortable with that. I think we should have more data on it, certainly. Is that, Councillor Clay, your views? Or
I'm happy at the moment the draft proposal for next year is 0 and 0.
Yes.
I would be happy to keep it like that, but if you want to seek clarification, that's fine.
I'm happy with it being 0 on the basis that we've got earmarked funds. Yeah. However, I still think clarification is required.
We might be able to take some of that earmarked fund to another.
You can.
Yes.
So the tree survey is on the held fund. She's got C above for the tree survey. So I'd say that's in the same pot of money.
I think it is in the same pot. It
is.
Yeah, and a lot of
the tree survey is nowhere near £18,000.
Can I just put in on the tree survey? I have major concerns on the quotation that has been provided, that it's actually going to produce what the council need to look at the trees.
Does that mean that the survey, does that mean to me, sorry, Joe, that the quotation is widely inaccurate compared to what was originally the quoted
So
for?
we've previously paid £18,000. I don't understand how we can go from £18,000 from a previous tree survey to a few years later to be £4,000. And looking at the quotation, is it going to look at every tree that we have? Because that would mean we are paying the tree survey £1 per tree to be reviewed. Now that concerns me.
I agree with you.
Are you for, and it's a bigger
So
discussion.
let's have a...
Yeah, so they would be.
Let's query it.
Yeah,
I think we do need to review
Agreed.
it.
So thank you for sharing. I agree. So let's query.
Yes, this is the one that came back at our last
Yeah.
meeting. We had 3 quotes. We've been to this company before. Francis' recommendation, so that's why we went. That's why we voted.
Right. So just I do. So let's to be clear.
I'll talk with Joe.
So hang on. So just 1 second. Sorry, Councillor Carson. So the tree survey we're going to query.
Yeah.
Yeah. The tree works to keep funds accumulating in readiness for the work in terms of tree survey. I would query that as well because by definition those two are related. Yeah. Okay. That's it. Okay. Right. Hedge, tree and bulb planting year end 5,000 and we've got 2,000. So we've got nothing budgeted for this coming year.
Clarification, I think we need on that.
Sorry?
Clarification, I think we need on that.
What hedge, tree?
Sorry, I can't hear you.
Clarification.
Clarification, I think we need on
No,
that.
well, I don't think you. I took that out in the.
So we need clarification why it's in there then.
In the
Yeah,
planning
that's why I
session
wanna-
that you and I did. with
Okay,
Francis,
query it. Let's
I
query it.
took out.
Let's query it then.
So you actually removed it.
So let's query why it's there.
It's £2,000 earmarked for that.
Let's query it. Consumables. We spent 1760. We've got a budget of 4. We've got a planned budget of 4. Moving forward, I'm guessing that's general.
There's nothing in the pot, so that's fine. I believe.
Consumables. I mean, I don't even know what a consumable would be in a minute is,
We
but
spent a lot of money on
consumables.
consumables.
Petrol. No, it's not.
Generally, I
Do you want to query it or not?
I'm happy for that.
Do you know what it is?
Yeah, I'm happy for that.
Okay.
Consumables.
I'm happy but not happy because I'm not happy that we haven't got a clue what that.
Well, if it's your £4,000, do you know what you're going to spend it on?
No.
In that case, query it then. Answers that. Right, tool hire, I get that, 2,000. Seems cheap to me, but I'm okay with that because we've got a lot of our own tools anyway, and so the specialist tools we need to hire, I get that.
Cherry pickers.
Cherry pickers and concrete breaker things that we used in the car park. 2,000 looks about right, so I'm okay with that, and if we need to borrow any more, we'll have to borrow some more. Right? So I'm okay with tool hire. Agreed?
Yeah.
Fuel, ground staff, I mean that's standard, right?
Happy with that?
My only question is that we spent 720 for the first quarter. Now I know it's the quarter, so 4 quarters of 720 is 3,000. So we're going to be underspend for fuel for mowers. I don't know whether we've got more vehicles and more mowers. So does the 4,000 for the draft proposal in green, that seems therefore too high versus the same, would be my only observation. If I was penny pinching.
And mine too.
So I would suggest, unless anyone's got a suggestion otherwise, that 4,000 in green comes down to 3,500.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Okay? So I think we need to be a little bit... Right. Nearly there. Maintenance of play park equipment and skate park equipment, including annual inspection.
I remember this one.
We spent 2.5, we've got a budget of 5, we have a planned budget for next year of 10.
Yeah.
Phew.
So do you remember this discussion we had about some works that might need doing?
Correct, there's some basic maintenance work, which I think is about right, and we've had some basic quotes for it already.
It might not be covered, so that's fine. I'm happy
Right,
to do
okay, you're
that.
happy with that?
I don't know anything about the.
Okay, so
discussions.
do you want to get a query or do you want to get up to
I am
speed?
chair- Well, I am the chair, so I should know.
Well,
Yeah.
What?
I don't. Okay, so speak to Francis, I would
Speak to Francis,
suggest.
yeah.
Well, who did Francis have the discussions with?
All of us. Also,
But not me.
all of us. No, she were on holiday, I think. So she, so at the last amenity, she went through the reasons of why that was high.
High.
I see.
Yeah.
And one of them was maintenance. We might not be covered, so some warranties. At the time
Warranties have expired, and therefore
yeah.
we've got to have proactive maintenance on some of the devices
We
because
might
the
have to
warranty
replace
and
them after that.
they're
We
getting on.
have just completed
And all.
our play park
site survey,
surveys.
which was okay, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But most areas.
We
Yeah,
have
we
just
had an amber, a black, we had one red, but that I think I went the other
Yeah.
day and some of it's looking
Well,
already.
so I'm very confused by the skate park report because it, Francis says there's no work needed, and then immediately says the remedial works needed are.
Well, there's no failings of the estate park, but there's going to be things that are going to be have to be maintained for the next following 12 months. That's what she alluded to. There's maintenance. So you don't have to have a new roof on your house, but you've still got to paint the windows, for example. It's the same thing for the skate park equipment. So there's still a cost to maintain the equipment because it's getting battered and bruised every day, right? That's the way I took it, Councillor Carston, on that point. So and the annual inspection we've just had, and we have to have another one of those next year as well. Personally, I think the 10's right because it's a popular thing that gets used. However, if you want to query it, I'm happy for you to pick it up and query with Francis. Sorry.
My only comment on that actually was that we don't have an earmarked fund for it.
Well, it meaning that we're spending what we were originally budgeted. Because we originally budgeted 5 for this year, we spent 2.5 already. There's nothing that's been drawn down from the previous year. That's how I read that. So we are spending what we've budgeted, which might be the reason why it's gone to 10 versus 5. If you're happy to query it, I'm okay with that. If you leave it at that, I'm okay with leaving it as 10. But I think it should be left as it is, personally. Okay? Right. Thank you. Play parks, play sand. We had this discussion. Play sand was expensive, and we're going to source whether or not we can get sand cheaper. But other than that, we leave it as the same.
Yeah, to justify right.
It's special play sand, believe it or not. Yeah. Maintenance of sport pitches, including the mugger, 1,000, and we've got earmarked 6763. It seems a lot of earmarked funds, and therefore why would we need to budget more for this year? Accordingly.
How long is the mugger sort of guaranteed for?
So we did have a cost to the mugger this year. Oh no, they didn't charge us. We did a call out because there was some loose panels.
Yeah.
And the lines need redoing occasionally, don't they? The paint lines and all that
which we would
stuff.
have to pay
What's
for.
the warranty then?
Not on lines, you can get warranty on the
No,
lines.
for the mugger. For like, I don't know, big things that can go wrong.
Not many big things in there.
We have a guarantee.
No.
Well, we have guarantees for the playgrounds and so on.
Councillor
Warranties for failure in our playground.
I think we can actually put that down to 0. I think that's just been budgeted £1,000 as a safety net, considering the 0, and we've got just under 7 in the
Agree.
pot.
I don't disagree with that.
Actually, just put that to 0.
I'm okay with that. Are you okay with that, Councillor Carson? Yeah. John, any comments?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
0. Good.
Yeah, scrap that.
Health and safety, fire extinguisher maintenance. That's flat 1,000. I don't think we can argue that. We don't know what it. Although it says 312 an annum, I don't know whether we've got 1,000, but it seems slightly excessive. But anyway, PPE for ground staff, including warden and caretaker. Special equipment, 3,000. We've got 580 to draw to earmark.
I'm not sure why we haven't got an expenditure in that column.
That's
Because
really
our PPE will be things like boots,
Gloves,
yeah,
visors,
and I know we've ordered new boots. I know.
Can I suggest we query that then to make sure
the
that we've got
expenditure.
query that one PPE.
We
Cleaning
have that
contract and equipment for the pavilion usually works Monday and Wednesday, and that's just a standard hourly rate. It's gone up 3% increment. I'm guessing that's about right. So I suggest we approve that one. Okay. Parish office. This is cleaning again. And cricket. Oh, hang on. Cricket. Cleaning contract and equipment for the pavilion Monday and Wednesday. Parish office. Cricket. I'm guessing that's when the cricket season's in that we pay for the cricket cleaning. Is that right?
So it's a total amount at the top, isn't it? Broken down
2.8
into the different.
So 3.6. So yes, that's how you get to your 3.7. We spent 800 already. We got a budget of 4. It sounds about or looks about right, unless anyone's got any comments. No. Okay, done. KGF Power Oil drawdown. So
I
we've got.
remember these three.
Blimey, we've got £14,000 in the drawdown in the earmarked.
So that pays for the oil, that's the heating of the building. Do you remember Frances? She went.
Yes, she did.
And she said to leave them alone, to keep them zero.
She did indeed.
What we have changed this year on our oil supply is the daycare now pay half the bills,
Oh.
which they previously didn't.
Oh.
So that was one of the changes that was in their
Well
licence
done.
for
Good.
this year.
Don't need them. That's good. Yeah.
Good. That's extra bonus then, right?
Don't need
KGF for water. I'm guessing they pay for half the water cost as well.
They pay for all
Good.
half of all utility
And
bills.
waste
for
as
the-
well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
done.
those three.
Okay.
Yeah.
New tools for ground staff. We've spent 1,600. We've got 3 for this year, 1,500 for next year, and that's it. Pass.
Well, if we're looking at next year's budget,
Mm.
we're on a quarter through. We would have bust that.
Yeah. So you're thinking that the 1,500 is too low?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so.
It fit me.
Personally.
Except, does that include the tools now for each individual groundsman? So is that why we've had a bigger expenditure to date, year to date? You know, each groundsman was going to be
Have their own chainsaw.
have
Or,
their own, I don't know if it was
Pickaxe
but
or
they were going to
spade.
have their own specific tools that they were responsible for. If there's been a bigger than normal spend because of that, then it's not such a worry, but I don't know if that is the reason why there's a bigger spend.
but we have less ground staff than we did last year.
Anything could break, depends on the machine.
No,
so
the machines are older. Okay.
I would say.
Oh, we don't have it, have less. Okay.
So I would say since we're a quarter through, we're 1.5 just over, and we budgeted for 3. I would keep it as 3. I'd increase it to 3.
So that 1,500 goes to 3,000. Okay, agreed.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Body worn cameras, high vis. That's 0. But we've got 5,200 in.
I think we've got enough covered.
I think we've got enough cover for that. We need everyone can get associated costs.
Should we actually be looking at redistributing some of that?
Well,
I
yes.
would suggest not, in the fact that they have got no working heavy equipment at the moment.
At the moment,
Ah.
so we're going to get that.
So we're going. That's one of the things
Good
I've
point.
asked
Good point. Okay. I mean, that's
Sam to address.
good. Okay.
Do we have trackers in our vehicles?
We did, but I believe they weren't connected.
No.
Anyway.
That is one of the areas that I've asked them to look at.
So we
now,
leave that as it
the
is.
for the
Okay,
cameras
let's-
and everything.
Let's leave that as it is.
Yeah.
Let's keep to the agenda, please.
Well, they said it would be the cost of.
Yeah.
Body worn cameras.
so
okay, that would be. You're right. Beg your pardon. But let's leave that as it is with the
Yeah.
5,200. Restock of tools for ground staff. Restock and replace tools. Now we had this discussion because that was very similar to the tools for the new tools for ground staff. So I wasn't sure why we have new tools for ground staff and restock tools for ground staff.
So could we perhaps ask Francis and if we can put those two together? I think they'd be sensible to combine.
I think so. I don't know why new and old, unless there's a depreciation on some of the tools, but I'm sure they'll go down to depreciation of assets at that level. But let's see if we can combine those. All right, done. Sorry, Councillor Carson.
If we combine them though, we may well have to increase that figure.
Yes, because that 500 or 1,500 went to 3,000,
But if we
and we're already at
combine
2.
them,
Yes.
We on the tools, we've got a figure of £2,000 expenditure on the restock of tools as opposed to new tools.
Yes.
With a 3,000.
So it could be 3 and 2 is 5, the whole pot.
The whole pot should be 5 as opposed to.
Shit,
Well, it's a lot of tools. I mean, tools aren't cheap. So
Put that to her perhaps.
let's see what we do to bring those.
Question.
Okay, good. Well, that was a useful exercise, but necessary. Thank you, everybody, for item 6. Okay, I'm conscious. Okay, we're okay for time. Okay, right, good. That's item 6 completed, correct? To consider and approve. I don't think we can approve it. We've considered it, and we've got some queries and comments. Agreed? Okay.
And do you want to vote on that decision?
Good
Yeah,
call. So
yeah.
vote on the decision that we can't approve it.
Yeah,
Vote on the fact is that we've got some lines that we vote we're okay on, but we've also got lines that we need to query on with predominantly France's, I think would be
Yeah.
the thing.
So a proposal could be that you go that the budget goes away back to Francis for further comments, and then we
Brings back to this committee. Now, we're not going to have this committee now before the budget's approved. So we're going to have to do this by circulate it via email and vote and comment accordingly.
to be approved at the next
Yeah.
Oxford.
Agreed.
Yeah, so I'm happy for it to be circulated if that's what you're proposing.
I would, yeah, it has to be circulated, so I would propose that we circulate it and comment accordingly. Councillor Carson, you okay with that?
I'll second that then.
Okay,
So,
thank you.
yeah.
Councillor
And
Carson,
votes?
for a show of hands, Councillor Carson, thank you very much indeed. Thank you, Councillor Clay, Councillor Carson. We moved that one forward, thank you. 6. Done. 7. Preschool. To discuss and consider permanent fencing at Heathfield 2. Oh, Heathfield 2. If agreed to, 2. If agreed to, discuss and consider options to fund the fencing. Discuss and consider actions. I think you would have seen, hopefully you would have seen the email that Joe put out. And by the way, thank you, Joe, for the minutes, because I know this has been a bit of a fire drill in the last few days. I just want to put it on record that you and a bit of Sam, maybe a bit
no, Sam.
no, Sam.
Only me.
Oh, I thought he was there with one of them. Sorry,
No.
my mistake.
No, that's
You,
fine.
only you then. Don't you take all the glory. Please do. But no, just thank you for doing it in record time. I've had a look at all the quotes.
Yeah, but you need to decide.
To discuss and consider the permanent fencing at Heathfield. Any feedback, comments regarding the quotes that you've seen?
No, you agree whether you are going to look at the fencing first.
To discuss and consider permanent fencing. So the first point of the agenda item is to are we going to provide the
No,
fence?
are we going to
agree to
Oh.
discuss the fencing?
Are you going to agree
Yeah.
to put? Because at the moment you have no council agreement to
Agreed.
have permanent fencing.
We need to agree that we're going to discuss
Mhm.
the subject.
Yeah,
So we
yeah.
will show hands on that.
So, okay, so let's have, excuse me, sir.
So
Are we in agree? Let's have a show of hands in terms of are we in favour of discussing the fencing at
Yeah.
the preschool, please?
Mhm.
Is that so?
unanimous?
Yeah, that's a 3 from all of us. Okay, thank you. Okay, so now that we're going to discuss it, we've got some options that we've received that I think you would have all seen on email from
Yeah.
Joe
Yeah.
as early
So-
or late as early today. There's 3 quotes. Within reason, 2 of them are pretty similar and one's a little bit out of the park, in my
They
opinion.
do all increase substantially, to be fair.
Yeah.
So my only comment between quotes 1 and 2 would be that quote 1 specifies a double timber gravel door, which is at the bottom, so it encloses the
Yeah.
fencing, wire mesh
Mhm.
inside that at the bottom, and a half round top fixed rail, not double sided. The second quote, which is £300 more, so from AKW, does specify double sandwich bottom and top
yeah.
rails. So
Noted,
the
yeah.
second quote is 300 more, but better. Is my only observation
Yeah.
from this. I think the third quote has priced himself out.
Agreed. Any comments from you, Mr. Councillor Clay?
Yeah, fine. Yeah.
Any comments? Can I ask Joe for your comments in terms of the quotations, because you've met all 3. Can I have any opinion from you,
so
Joe?
what he hasn't put in his quote isn't necessarily what we discussed on the day. So maybe that needs some clarity on that basis, because what I showed him was the piece of fence. So the JVS fencing, that one which doesn't state about the round doubled edges at the bottom, it was discussed with him. That's what we will require.
Okay.
and I don't know what he would attach that to if there isn't something at the bottom. So that may need some clarity.
Right.
The bit that, so he's specifying the double sandwich at the bottom on the gravel boards, the
But not the
bits
top.
at the bottom. At the top, he's saying a half round rail at the top, which I'm assuming is on one side because it doesn't specify double, it's a half round. AKW's report does specifically state double
Yeah.
round rail at the top.
Yeah, I think the second quote is more specific to where we were going in terms of what I think
We wanted.
what we wanted. That would be my comment as well. Okay, any other comments before sorry, Councillor Carson?
Yeah, so if we agree to go ahead with this fencing, I still need to be happy that there are going to be appropriate terms and conditions put in place regarding particularly not having the gate locked and so on. And I haven't really seen anything to tell me how are those terms and conditions going to be agreed with the school. Something in writing that specifies the ownership of that, who's responsible for maintaining, cutting the grass inside, outside, looking after the fence, that it shall not be locked. I mean, for instance, sadly, the preschool had some vandalism over the weekend, quite a significant amount. And we need to make sure that they understand they cannot lock access.
So I think you're right. I think there needs to be
I
some.
see nothing to say. We're in tandem with us discussing, agreeing, getting the fencing done. I've seen nothing happening in parallel that says, and by the way, here's a draft on the terms and conditions.
So that would go to full council. If you want to put an agreement in place, that part of it would need to go to full council.
Right.
Which is on the 15th.
And that
On
would,
the 15th
and
of
that
October.
would, and that's not necessarily a lease because they don't have a lease.
No, we don't.
This is a set of rules about how you look after the fence, whether it's supplied by.
No, we look after the fence.
No, well, I didn't say whether it's we or they. I just said whoever looks after the fence, because yet we're not in the rules book or the rules and regulations of who looks after the fence. There's an obligation to either maintain it or make sure it's unlocked and locked at the right time, whether it's ours or theirs obligation. That's all I was suggesting.
For instance, things like, so at the moment we cut the grass, right?
On the outside.
Well, because the fencing's not there.
Correct.
And we would still need to continue that because it's our land.
Correct.
Grass.
Yeah.
But now we've got a fence around it.
But we would have access into it.
During the daytime when the children are there. So
Yeah.
we'd have to have an arrangement that says we need to cut the grass, it needs to be done in terms of our schedule, so you need to agree that when our schedule says we're cutting the grass at the
Fair point.
moment at Heathfield,
Yeah.
the children are inside
Okay.
that period. It can't be overlooked.
No, I'm not suggesting it is being overlooked, Councillor Carson. I just think it's yes, it's in tangent or yes, it's in parallel to the discussing of the permanent fencing. The two go together is the point, and what we're doing at the moment is discussing the physical fencing and to decide what type of fencing
And whether
or
who's
not
paying.
we pay for it or they pay for it. Once we've agreed that, then we can agree what the terms and conditions are about. If we're paying for it, this is what we expect you to do, school, and if you're paying for it, this is what the school can expect us to do, for example.
Yeah.
That was my point. Sorry, Councillor Carson.
I mean, I believe that we have to pay for it. If it goes on our land, it remains our property. I think if they were to pay for it, they don't have the money to pay for it anyway. They would have to do a GoFundMe for part of it. That's a crowdfunder or whatever. They have said they don't have money to do it. But regardless of that, I think it needs to be our fence. We have 100% ownership of it.
Okay, so I think.
Not mean, Councillor Clay, what?
I don't mind either way. Who pays for it? Don't mind.
Okay.
I've got
Well, we
I've
do
got no opinion or view.
Right.
I'm happy with either.
I mean, I put it out there. I think we should pay for it.
Mm.
I think we should pay for it on the basis that it's the only school that we sublet to that is closer to the road that doesn't have any protection, and that scares the shit out of me, excuse me, number one. And we know that this discussion's been going on and on and on for a few years, and for whatever reason, their staff are putting out these metal temporary fences on a day-by-day basis. So if it was, I think the right thing to do for the village is to fund the fencing. Yes, I would agree with Councillor Carson that we need some rules, let's call it, about what happens and where and whatever else. But I think the question here is the which quote, number one, and depending on the quote, excuse me, then what does that mean in terms of going forward as to who maintains or who doesn't maintain? That's how that would be my comments to add. Councillor Carson?
Yeah, I absolutely believe we should pay for it, for all the reasons you say and I previously stated.
Yeah.
All I would say, I did ask for the RFO's recommendation.
Good, I should ask you that.
And whether we do have the budget, because there's no point in discussing it if we don't have the budget.
Good point.
The recommendation of the RFO was it is our land, and to be able to keep control of the fencing, we should be paying for it, because it then the land and the fencing belongs to the council.
Agreed.
There is budget in stage 3011 for fencing.
Okay.
And of about £5,000.
Okay, so on that basis, may I... Sorry, Councillor Carson?
So I was scratching my ear.
Oh, hey. So on that basis, then, can I suggest or make a proposal that we go with option 2 of the quotation, with the view that we pay for the fencing.
So that is AKW?
AKW, that's the middle price, yeah? Go for option 2 of the pricing, option 2 of the quote, on the proviso that, yes, we can get that underway in terms of booked in the system, so to speak, but in the meantime, we need to sit down with the preschool, or the preschool working party or amenities, or whoever's actually the liaison for the preschool, needs to draw up the rules and regs for, okay, it's going to be a nice new fence, this is what we expect, this is what we don't expect, this is how it's going to operate, cutting of grass, opening of gates, maintenance on an annual basis with creosote or whatever you can use for kids these days, etc., etc.
Can't use creosote.
No, a bad example, or whatever, fence life or something, right?
I think it's,
in a roundabout way.
I think it's a more official document than that. It's a legal document. We're a council. I don't think it can be a, oh, here you go, that's what we're going to...
Well, that's not what the RFO was saying, so I'm getting mixed message.
No, you're not getting mixed messages. I'm asking the client, saying I don't think, but if the RFO is saying...
So no, the RFO's discussion is that we should pay, but it was with a licence or something in play, a legal document. So we would... we will need...
I wasn't making it not official, sorry.
No, so we would go to TOSES.
Yeah, we would have a one-pager or whatever it is, yeah.
So we would go to TOSES and ask them to draw something up for us.
Okay. Councillor Clay?
Yeah, that's just answered it. Otherwise, I was believing that you were making 2 proposals there.
I wouldn't do that.
It sounded like you were, but that's clarified. So, yes,
so
that
can we
can
read...
be one proposal.
Joe, is that something you'll be doing, approaching TOSES for...
Yes, I can do that.
Or the amenities clerk or whoever?
No, I can do that.
So let's go back to the proposal status, can we then?
Yep.
So I propose that we agree to opt for option 2 of the quotations, to give the option 2 company, I can't remember the name, sorry, AKW, agree to the AKW quote, okay, and in parallel to agreeing that, so we would fund it, we would liaise with AKW to install it at a suitable time for us and the school, not for us, but the school primarily. But in parallel to that, we would speak with TOSES about drawing up a legal framework. I call it a framework. It sounds like a big document. I don't expect it to be very big, but a framework document about the legalities of the fence. I don't know how else to put it.
So I would, sorry, before we
Yeah.
proposal, we have got another chicken and egg situation where we don't want to. I agree with. I would like to see that fence in as soon as possible.
Mm-hmm.
However, I don't think we can actually physically do it until we have that document signed, because then we would have a situation where the fence is done, and if the preschool don't agree, they don't sign the document. It's.
But I think if they're running in parallel, I don't believe a one-page or a two-page document is going to take. I mean, I don't know what the time frame of his AKW was, but I can't imagine it being done next week. So, I mean, hopefully with a sense of urgency.
Could be a provisional date.
A provisional date.
Make sure we've done the legal side. Yeah. A provisional date, as long as we've got.
You know, as long as this is the way we have to do things. You know, as long as a provisional date with the caveat that the documentation
is completed and signed.
I'm happy with that. So if that became another rework proposal for clarity for.
I've lost the track.
An amendment.
So reject the first one then, will you?
It wasn't seconded, so
it wasn't seconded. So let me re-amend. No, re-amend. Let me amend the first proposal then.
No, the first proposal doesn't exist.
Okay, I'll get a second proposal.
No, you're just going to make a new proposal.
I'll make a new proposal. We adopt AKW's quote.
We agree.
We agree AKW's quote, and we will approach legal TOSers, to draw up a framework document in parallel while we're waiting for the fence to be installed, with a view that the document needs to be agreed by both parties before we hand over the fence.
No, before we install the fence.
Before we install the fence.
Yes.
Before we install the fence.
Maybe we stick the hand up and second until we
what else?
But I think we also need to make sure that we speak to the War Memorial Hall as a matter of courtesy, because this is where I get confused. I don't know whether they're the tenant, they're the owner. So we need to speak to the War Memorial Hall as a matter of courtesy to let them know what's going on.
We do.
Just a note.
And particularly also because the gate, there's a rotten gate at the side that the quote actually includes replacing.
Yeah.
The Memorial Hall
should be quite happy with that.
But
Agree. Out of courtesy, we should tell them. So do I have to make a third?
I second that proposal. That was all.
Where is our proposal now then?
We're going to adopt AKW's quote,
yes.
And we're going to parallel with TOSers a framework document that allows both parties to agree and sign the document before the fence is erected. And in the middle of all of that, we're going to, out of courtesy, speak to the War Memorial.
Okay, who's going to speak to them?
I'm happy to do that if you'd like me to.
War Memorial?
Yes.
It needs to be done
Yeah. Out of courtesy. Yeah.
They're building on our.
So that was my proposal. Do I have a second on that?
Yeah.
We need 1 second.
So in that case, can I have a vote then, please, for that? Oh, I was looking at you because I was supposed to have a question. Got there in the end, Joe.
So right, unanimous.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You can have that back now, boss.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Thank you, everybody, for that. Whew. Okay, 8. Terms of reference, FA&P terms of reference, to discuss and consider a change to the FA&P terms of reference to include the ability for substitutes if a meeting were to be in court to discuss and determine action. Councillor Carson.
Okay, so this is something I asked Mark to place on the agenda. So within the terms of reference for every other committee, there is the ability to have substitutes if a councillor knows that they're going to be absent or whatever. And there's a notice period that the clerk would require for that substitution to take place. So that substitute does not need to sit on that particular statement in. It's the only committee that
All right,
does
okay.
not stay. You can have substitutes. And I would guess that the reason for that would be that it would be considered that the chairman and vice chairmen and the so-called
Sure.
senior members, which I don't necessarily agree with that term, that you shouldn't substitute them. It gives us an exposure, and it does for the immediate and mid-term future that FA&P could become incorporate, because it only takes one of us not to be here. It puts quite a lot of pressure on it as well.
Okay.
So it is within our the committees under delegated authority define their own terms of reference, and so I would like FA&P to consider adopting the terms of reference that allows, with the appropriate notice, which I believe is 5 working days with is it, or is it 4?
So it's 4 working days, because we'd obviously have to summon.
Yeah. 4 working day notice of a substitution.
Okay. Councillor Clay?
So if that was the only change that was going to be made, I would propose that we go ahead with that, because I'm happy for substitutions, because that will bring us in line with all other committees that currently do that and adopt that process.
Can I just bring one thing in?
Please,
I don't
Jo.
know whether you have considered it.
Yeah.
The FA&P, the finance side is, but it does bring in the personnel files. So when we know what we discuss in personnel, that would be my only thing I think you should consider.
Good point. Because there would be some discussion, or could be
some discussion.
Not would be, but could be some discussion regarding personal
Members of
data
staff.
and staff and
Members
salaries
staff.
and stuff. Yeah.
That would be my only.
Yeah.
You know, we have
It's a
to
fair
entrust councillors to discretion and.
I think we need the safety net of not being corporate,
because people don't get paid then.
because there's things that wouldn't get signed off and approved, etc. So that's quite a
We're
key.
just lucky that my holiday in October doesn't clash with the fact.
What about what about Councillor Clay's or Councillor Ranger's holiday or Joe's holiday? No, I'm just joking. No, I know.
October, right?
So payroll is signed off by me,
Yeah.
so it doesn't come to FA&P.
Okay, so
That was my proposal, but before we go, I was concentrating on this. I heard something about 4 days' notice.
Yeah, because the summons legally has to go out 3 days before.
Correct.
So if I'm going to be away in October and there was a FAP, I would say, Joe, I'd like so and so to be my substitute. And that must be she must have 4 days' notice so she can get the
So it's the
agenda
3
out.
days plus the day I present
3 day
it.
plus the day.
Can you check on that? Because how it's worked in the past is a councillor may sit in the public. Say, for example, we were missing one and Daniel came with me and he sat in the public.
Yeah,
We
they
can-
don't have voting, they can't vote.
Exactly. We can bring him to the table to make the meeting quorate, but he doesn't have no voting right.
No.
That's how it's
That
worked in
doesn't
the
work.
past.
That doesn't work. If we're not quora, because it's only
He
two-
will, the
Right,
table
he
will
doesn't have
become
voting
quorate.
rights. If you've got
Yeah,
a
but
substitute,
you
they
need a
have
voting quorum.
rights.
You don't need a table number.
Yeah.
Check on that.
Yeah,
Just oh, you have it.
right. You can invite a member of the public to the table to speak, and they don't have voting rights. We need a proper councillor substitute who attends that meeting because they have voting rights.
Okay.
Yeah,
Don't disagree.
And that's where the summons comes in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
Only because there has been a different practice in the past, and it could be because it was.
I've
someone
never
doing it
ever
properly.
known a
Yeah,
female substitute on council committees.
I've seen it a lot. Where
Yeah, but if you're
she
describing
invited, yeah.
no, that's not the same. That's not the same situation. We can invite any member at the chairman's discretion of the public, sitting in the public, to sit and offer us advice, but they have no voting rights. We
need to be quorum for voting.
So an example would be Ken couldn't turn up to a meeting once, so So Paula asked Gary, he just turned up on the night because Ken sent his apologies, sat down, and the meeting was then caught and went ahead.
But did Gary vote?
That's why I'm trying to get clarification.
Gotcha.
On the night,
Well,
for example, no.
Okay, so
from what I've read, somebody would have to be summoned to a meeting to be able to have voting rights.
I did it with Daniel once at the very beginning. So, no, I don't mind. Because this is how we did it before.
Mm.
I came to a meeting that Daniel wasn't on, and Paula said, "Can you give Daniel a ring?" And I gave him a ring. He came. That's how we conducted it. No, I'm happy for that.
Okay,
That's how we conducted it. So that's just some clarification.
Can I ask?
So do we need
just
clarification?
To move it forward, can we ask our clerk to confirm? So
That's what I was going to say.
if in principle that we can vote in principle that absolutely we change the terms of reference to include substitutions, assuming that the clerk clarifies.
They've got voting
They
rights.
have voting rights because 100% they do.
There's no point doing it if they haven't got
What's
voting rights.
happened, Councillor Clay, I can't comment on these.
No, let's focus on...
because that's kind of different.
No, I agree.
I
agree, Councillor.
Presenting, which is I'd like to change our terms of
Yep.
reference to include substitutions. That's not relevant.
So can Joe, can you validate or verify, whether they got voting rights if they get seconded on, and if they do, then the substitution for the ability for substitutes for the FA&P is okay.
So there's two different scenarios here.
Yes, yeah, you're right. I'm just thinking that as I say.
Yeah.
So.
Right, can I first make the proposal that we accept substitutions on FA&P?
Okay, that's a
That was my
proposal.
proposal.
Right, so I second that.
Yeah, so because that's already been.
So that proposal is.
What we're.
So that was a proposal, and I've seconded it, and you're okay with
Then
that.
it's just asking Joe to go away.
Right, agreed. So we have a unanimous Joe on the.
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Yeah, so we're okay with that. Good. Right. So the second part of it then is to make sure that whoever is substitute, that they've got full voting rights. Whether they're in the public or at home doesn't matter. No, but what I'm saying is that the substitute has got full voting rights. That's what we've got to validate. Okay, Joe?
Yep, that's fine. I can go to help to get clarification on that.
Or if their attendance can make the meeting quorate.
Yes, it does. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
It actually specifies that in the other
Without prior notice.
Well, within 4 days. They've got to have 4 days. They've got to have 4 days.
Yes, it is, because the summons has to.
Yeah, the summons has to go out.
What this doesn't allow for is if I go out there and get knocked over by a bus and it's 1 day before the meeting, you can't substitute them and you would be in quorum and you'd have to reschedule.
Yeah.
But this is like planned holidays.
So I think we've agreed. We've had a proposal. We've voted on it that substitutes will be allowed, and the clarification sought from Joe in terms of whether substitutes have got voting rights.
Yep.
Agreed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, Councillor Carson.
No, agreed.
Agreed. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
I would like to say we probably need to suspend standing orders to allow the meeting to continue beyond 2 hours shortly.
Oh yes. Yeah.
So if we can have,
Yes. Agreed.
Right.
I think a vote to stand.
I propose we suspend standing orders.
Yes, that's fine.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Unanimous?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So we finished with section 8. Okay. Good. Damaged height barrier at Ashland Park playing field to discuss an offer of repair received from the insurance company following the collision to discuss and determine action.
Yep. So you've got the recommendation that's been sent out from Francis. I have rejected part of it on the basis that it would breach GDPR because it's got details. So the actual quote was attached to her document, but it would be in breach because it's in the public domain. So her recommendation, I think we believe we're about £200 short of the £285 on the basis of the replacement, but the height barrier was already damaged.
It was.
So although it was still usable, it was damaged.
So,
And her recommendation that actually we think the insurance company is giving us a very good deal.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Are we all in favour of that? Sorry.
Just a second though, but we also have to agree, or we have to address the lack of funds for the remaining 285 because there's obviously no budget for that. So I'd suggest that we ask Jenny to.
Yeah, that comes out of maintenance for car
Yeah,
parking or
yeah.
whatever else. Yeah,
But we have to.
yeah, that has
Yeah,
to be
and we
funded.
will ask, so you put
So,
that to Jenny.
yeah. So the 285 comes
So-
out of the pot somewhere. Sorry, Councillor Clay?
So are we happy with the offer of repair received from the insurance
Yeah.
company?
Yes, I think is the
I'm
proposal. You happy with that?
I'm
Is that a
happy.
proposal?
Yes, it is.
Right,
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. I'm seconding that.
Yeah.
Councillor Carson? Yeah, okay.
Unanimous.
Unanimous. Good. Social media, discuss what content to be added to the social media. Discuss in 2 minutes. Any suggestions for social media, Councillor Carson?
I'd like to suggest that we hold on that until such time as we have determined the preschool fencing, and that we then use which was a very contentious issue and remains. There are still a lot of briefs sold out there from 2018, and that Jo and I work together once we have clarity on the way forward for next month or whatever it is. And then we've made that another example of a positive action.
Yep.
Yeah?
I think that's fair.
So nothing
I'm
further.
happy with that.
Yeah, I also agree with item 9, which is the height. Once it's been repaired and replaced, we can put new photos up, and that'll
Yeah.
help.
Yeah.
That could be one for Shell for the moment.
Agreed.
Other
Yeah.
than that, I'm happy.
Should we have a show of hands? Do we need a show of hands for the
No,
social?
sorry, can I just pick up on that? So
Oh, sorry.
we're also suggesting the height barrier replacement that was
Yeah.
damaged by the car.
Yeah.
I don't think we should be putting that on social media.
I think it will look good once it's up. It'll be new. It'll be no.
Well, we put.
This is a result
Well,
of something.
I'm not. I don't. I'm not. I think when we put pictures up of the new barrier and the things for the War Memorial car park, why wouldn't we put the new pictures up of the
Because
barrier?
the car didn't crash into the barrier at the War Memorial. I just feel it's. The other thing is that we don't want it. Every item that we choose to communicate in this well-formulated way takes time and resource. Right?
Right, but it's a
Okay.
positive message going out to the village that we've done something.
I don't think it's very. I don't feel it's very positive that
Well, I
a car-
disagree.
somebody had a bad situation who may have been in the village. And we don't
Well, one
know
of the things
who
that we
they
talked
are,
about.
and then we're putting that on Facebook.
Well, okay, so let me spin it a different way then, Councillor Carson, because I think one of the things that perhaps we should put on social media that has been mooted before by members of the public on the last full council or maybe the last amenities is here's a list of the projects that we've agreed to do that we are planning on doing in the next 2 to 3 months. So we are going to repair the drains or the bridge or whatever else. So that's a positive. I don't disagree with you in terms of a broken car park barrier. That's not a really wow thing, but I think the publicity of doing things that have either been noted or bridges or whatever it may be or preschool fencing when it's ready, I agree, but other things as well, those are the sorts of things that should go out.
This is a bigger discussion. If we stick to the agenda, which is the choosing the item for the next.
Social
It's a
media.
bigger discussion,
Yeah.
but that's an area of expertise in terms of PR that I have, and the items that we choose to publicise are those ones we really want to shout about. Alright, it's a bigger
Agreed.
discussion and we're moving away from the agenda. So we
Well,
must
no,
stick to
no,
the
we're not.
agenda.
No, I disagree. I think the social media discussion to consider what goes on to the agenda. Discussion to consider what content should be added to the council's social media. We discussed the preschool fencing when it's ready to go.
Yeah.
Right. There are other things to go from amenities, and if there's other things from amenities or planning or whatever else. But from an FA&P perspective that we've agreed to, if we've just agreed to whatever it is on fencing, on car parking, if that's something that we think as a group that should go out on social media, then great. If we think that it should not go out, I'm okay with. But I don't know what else should be going out from an FA&P perspective. That's my point.
What is it should? We don't have to do anything.
I understand that.
And
I understand that.
certainly, you know,
I'm not doing it for the sake of doing it. I'm just making sure that we're just covering all of our bases.
I do actually think we're going to be on the agenda.
Okay. Any comments, Councillor Clay?
Nothing further, no.
All right. For the purpose of this discussion, that we're not going to put anything on there unless it's the preschool bin.
I'm happy.
All right.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Do you want to vote on that?
Preschool only on social media.
We don't have it
No,
here yet.
Yeah,
it's
I'll just
discussing
say
the
yeah,
action
yeah,
steps,
yeah.
I'm happy.
Only when we've done it.
Yeah.
Not telling them what.
Imagine if you were whoever
Let's go.
you just crashed into that thing and then we put, oh, a lovely new barrier on.
Okay, well, we move on. We've discussed it. We've agreed we're not doing it. So okay, fine. Matters for next agenda.
Nothing
Councillors.
from me.
Nothing from you, Martin. Councillor Castle, anything? Joe, anything from your perspective on FA&P?
No, not at the moment.
Okay, confidential report to pass a resolution in accordance with the Public Bodies Admission to Meetings Act 1960 to exclude the public and press for discussion of a confidential report relating to the following.
Yeah, carry on.
Minutes of the confidential report to receive and confirm the accuracy of the confidential report of the meeting held on the 27th of August to receive and approve.
You're only reading this bit, remember. You'll read. Just move on to the next items. No, you're not discussing these. This is for the public.
I was waiting for a so move.
You just keep going.
Okay.
Yeah.
So staff admin, draft proposed.
Yeah, you've got to read out what's on these.
I beg your pardon, I'm sorry. Staff admin to note, draft proposed admin and amenity staff salaries for the municipal year 26 to 27 to consider and approve the staff salaries for the year 26 to 27, and 4, office staff forward strategy to consider a report prepared by the RFO to consider and determine action.
Yeah,